Hello, everybody out there, and welcome back to another episode of Anime Weekly. A day late, but it's spring break. Doesn't matter.
Yep.
It's celebration time, right, Jeremy?
Oh yeah, I can finally turn off my alarm and sleep in and do whatever I want to, watch all the anime that I want, and not have to worry about going to school in the morning. But seriously, teachers, why you gotta make me write a paper before on the Sunday when spring break is technically supposed to start the following day? Come on, really? Like you couldn't give me one day? One? That's all I wanted.
You know, the good news, where I live, when I had college, between spring break and winter break is when we changed classes, so I never had to worry about having a paper during that week off.
Well, lucky you, but man, it was really unlucky for me because I was just like, all right, I can get this done before 11. I can get this done before. Let's record at 12, and I'm like, by the time 12 comes around, I'm like, I'm done. But I'm like, you know what? I can't think right now. I'm not. I haven't watched this. I haven't watched everything. Let me just let's do this tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm the one that wrote you and said, "Do you want to do this tomorrow?" And you're like, "Oh God, thank you. I love you. Yes, please." And I was like, "Okay, then. Well, that's fine. I will not be one of these. I will not be the 5,001st person on your girlfriend boyfriend list, but that's fine. And I don't judge you for having 5,000 girlfriend boyfriends either.
Yeah, well, that's another inside joke for those of you guys listening, and this is your first time.
That's right.
That's an inside joke. You'll get it eventually, but essentially it's a Dragon Ball Z reference to bring it back to anime, and apparently I have over 9,000 girlfriends, but we reduced it to 5,000 to make me seem less of a pimp. I'm not I don't believe in polygamy. But if you do, it's okay. I don't
Okay,
judge.
then I was about to say, excuse me, I might. No, I don't. I don't. No, but yeah. By the way, you mentioned for new people, and that's right. Starting with this episode, actually, Anime Weekly will also be on SoundCloud. There will be nothing exclusive on SoundCloud when it comes to the main show. However, we will be doing a special show, like complete show for SoundCloud only, and it's going to be centering around movies. It's going to start this month. We're doing the Boruto movie, probably going to be closer towards the end of March, middle to end of March. So if you're listening to this on SoundCloud, you're getting the episode, the full episode, exactly like you'd get it on YouTube, nothing added. Maybe at some point, if Jeremy and I have extra time after the show, maybe we'll try to figure something out to do after the show to add to the SoundCloud file. But for right now, the SoundCloud file for these shows will be the exact same as YouTube. So if you catch it on YouTube, it's the same show. If not, if you'd like to take Anime Weekly on the go instead, you got it on iTunes and you got it on SoundCloud.
Yeah, and also like we're essentially it's the same. It's going to be the same thing as usual. Like it's the same rambling jokes and Trunks, all that good stuff that you guys like so much. Just take it with you on the go. That's all. Because I do that all the time in between classes, listening to podcasts on my ride to school and in between classes.
Yeah. So, and also, if you want to recommend it to friends now, you can and say, look, just go on iTunes, type in the Dark Avenger podcast, and you'll get the listing, and it'll have this show, it'll have 1, 2, 3, it'll have my exclusive show for SoundCloud. There's going to be other exclusive content that I will be doing with people alone as time goes on. So it gives you guys something. It gives some exclusive stuff for SoundCloud, so you're not just going on for one exclusive show or an exclusive show plus exclusive stuff with these shows. There's some other stuff, too, that's going to make SoundCloud unique. But I'll talk about that on another video. This is Anime Weekly, and we've got a lot to talk about. Only one show this week did not have an episode, and that was Garo.
Oh, yep.
I guess they're skipping because maybe they're close to the end. Maybe.
Yeah, so I guess they're like finishing up the last couple episodes to make sure everything's all polished and nice. Cause it definitely seems like the series is gonna end here. Mm-hmm. Oh, but before we get into the anime, this past weekend was the limited release of the Boy and the Beast movie by Mamoru Hosoda. Who, if you guys don't know who Mamoru Hosoda is, he actually did such great movies as the first two Digimon theatrical movies, Digimon Adventure and Digimon 2 the movie. And, of course, he also did classics like The Girl Who Leapt Through Time, Summer Wars, and Wolf Children. All great movies, Wolf Children especially, and I saw...
You know something about all those movies, too? I've not seen a single one of them.
Not even the Digimon movies? What?
I don't watch Digimon. I was a Pokemon fan growing up.
Let me tell you. Hold on. There's a little side rant here. I honestly don't understand the Pokemon Digimon divide. Both are
It wasn't
awesome.
a divide. I've only ever watched Pokemon. Digimon came before Pokemon in Japan.
Well, it came after in America, so I watched Digimon after, and I had already seen Pokemon. But anyway, that's another discussion. But anyway, The Boy and the Beast. I got to see it a limited release in movie theaters because they did it for like a week, starting on March 5th. I think it's still going now as of the time of this recording, but I don't know when it's going to end. But I highly recommend you guys go see it if you can, if it's in a theater near you. If not, definitely wait for that Blu-ray release. Funimation did a great job here. It's just a beautiful friggin' movie. It's basically about this boy who's in a world, who ends up traveling to this world that's full of anthropomorphic beast people, and he ends up becoming an apprentice to this bear guy who is a swordsman, and he learns swordsmanship and martial arts from this bear. And it's pretty awesome. It's just I don't want to go into full details, but it has a lot of deeper themes to it too.
It sounds like a movie I watched when I was a kid called The Something of Virtue, The Warriors of Virtue, The Ninja. I don't remember. It was like a B movie, but it was popular for its most.
I remember. I know what you're talking about. I think it's like Warriors of Virtue.
I think yeah, and it was 4 warriors, and each one had a different virtue, and it was kind of like the turtles, except they weren't turtles; they were something else.
But yeah, the kid, he ends up like training with this bear guy from basically age 9 to age 19, and he ends up becoming this great swordsman. But then he ends up going back to the human world, going back to school, learning more about the human world, reconnecting with his family, and there's this whole theme about family and darkness and loneliness. It's really deep, good stuff. Highly recommend it. And also, when I tweeted it out, Funimation and the official movie's Twitter account retweeted me, so that was kind of cool.
Very cool. All right, so there's your news. Now let's get into the shows that we talk about on the show. Now, like I said, Garo, I guess they're gearing up. I just hope they don't pull a Bit Cloud Zoid thing. Remember where there was like 2 episodes left of Zoids, and they redid the series twice before we got to see the last 4 episodes?
I never understood that whole like repeat cycle thing. They did that with Dragon Ball Z for the longest time too.
Well, only in America. In Japan, those last 4 episodes came out right after. So I don't know. I guess they didn't dub it, or they lost the rights to it for a time, and that's why the last 4 episodes took so long.
Yeah, maybe.
I'm not sure. But Pokemon XYZ is back. We got episode 13. It came out. Episode 14 is going to come out today. I thought I was going to make the mistake and say this week's episode instead of last week's. But anyway, going into the list is Pokemon X, Y, and Z, episode 13. There's a reason why we're talking about One Piece, episode 732. It's ironic. We'll get there, I promise. We got Naruto Shippuuden, which is episode 451, which we're finally back into some canon territory instead of...
And we get the Itachi story, which... Itachi is my favorite character in all of Naruto, so I'm really excited to talk about this.
We've got Dragon Ball Super, episode 34. Some crazy stuff happened there. We got Fairy Tail 99 with the feels out the wazoo. And
feels on top of feels on top of feels.
And you're going to notice that the theme of this episode is 9999. Yeah, this is going to probably be the title now of it, but Fairy Tail 99, Divine angelic episode, I will say that.
It was a really weird, trippy, out there episode. I had no idea what the heck was going on, man.
I don't know. We got Dimension W, episode 9, which is more of a backstory, but still very good. Assassination Classroom, season 2, episode 9, with a really, really scary mom.
Yes, moms can be very, very scary, especially ones that are like obsessed with grades and you're not. Oh man, it's just
yeah, we'll get into that one. And then Luck and Logic, episode 9, is where we're concluding because Jeremy told something.
We were right. We were right. Right from episode 1, we were like, "Is this guy going to do this?" And the guy did it. We'll get into that. Mm-hmm. But I'm just glad we were right. I was also right with Dimension W, but again, that's another thing we'll get into.
So let's start with Pokemon XYZ. episode number 13. This episode was really just Ash fighting his friend in the first part of the episode, and then we get introduced to another character. I forgot his name, but he's related to the leader of the Blaze Gang, and he challenges Ash to a battle, but an EX, with the EX Pokemon. He wanted the Mega... No,
with the Mega Evolution.
The Mega Evolution fight. So he wanted to fight Greninja, which is called something different in Japan, but he wanted to fight Greninja in his Mega Evolution form, and he had a Charizard, which I loved.
You know what's messed up about that? Like I saw it in the show, and I'm like, why doesn't Greninja actually have Mega Evolution in the games? He does not have a Mega Evolution in the games.
He does. Well, it's because it's a special bond between. This is something that's specifically for the anime, which is kind of dumb, but at the same time.
Yeah, I'm calling crap on that one.
I am too. I think that at some point they're gonna have to make the cards now for this.
They better add that to the game because Mega Greninja looked so cool.
But it's like you said. Now I went into watching this and I'm like, I know that Jeremy said that Ash started losing, and that's what happened. Ash lost in this episode. So I thought it was interesting, and then I love how in the end of the episode the narrator is like, "This was the beginning of hell," and I'm like, "What? What?" The guy looked nice to me, and then we find out that that this was the beginning of something really bad going on. We have the Blaze team.
I wonder if he's gonna be like the new evil rival, because you know how every season has an evil rival. Although I feel like the evilest rival out of everybody was Paul. Paul was such a jerk. Paul abused his Chimchar. He let go Pokemon because they were too weak. I hated Paul. Hated Paul so much.
I think I remember Paul. That's the weird thing.
No, because you dropped off. This was the season with this was the Diamond and Pearl season.
Okay, then no, I don't know.
Yeah,
it sounds like something from the Kanto region where there was a gym or not a gym trainer, but a Pokemon trainer who, if the Pokemon weren't good, he would
You're talking about the guy with the Charmander from the Kanto region. I hated that guy too.
Yeah, I didn't like that.
He left his Charmander in the rain. Like what?
And then Ash got the Charmander.
That was so cruel, man. Like that's like trying to drown a puppy. You don't do that.
No, that was horrible. And I love Charmander, so that makes me mad.
Exactly.
So do you have anything you want to mention about episode 13? I thought it was a nice Poke battle. I thought it was a nice introduction to this new character whose name I cannot remember because it's the first time we see him. But it looks like they're going in a direction finally where they're not just randomly putting episodes out again.
I'm hoping that we can since we saw one battle, we can finally get to the gyms. Because he only got 2 or 3 more?
2 more.
Yeah, so we're almost there. We're almost to Pokemon League territory, and that's where the series always get fun, is when you get to the Pokemon League. Although Ash never wins, because I feel like that's an unwritten rule. Ash never can win the Pokemon League.
Yeah, I noticed that at the end of season 1 where he lost.
Because he's the only one he's ever won is the Orange Islands. He's won the Orange Cup.
That. Yeah, I didn't see that. I remember I dropped off after the first movie.
Yep.
And I popped back on for the second movie, and then I popped off again.
Oh, man. Yeah, Pokemon at least has a decent record with their movies. I like the Pokemon movies.
One just came out, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Huh. I'll have to look into that. But yeah, that's pretty much it. There wasn't much to happen in this, but I'll always like a good Mega Evolution battle.
All right, so we'll go into One Piece, and I know we said we weren't going to talk about this anymore. We were going to leave this for the live show we do on Comic Frontline. However, ironically, and that's why I actually watched this episode, because I said watch, we said something, and this is going to happen, and it did. Oh God,
Luffy woke up. He finally woke up. We've been saying for like a month now. It's like, all right, they're running, birdcage, more running, people distracting Doflamingo so Luffy can wake up, distracting people so Luffy can wake up, distracting. Savo showed up. Okay, cool. Okay, Luffy, you gonna wake up yet? Okay, 5 more minutes. Okay, 5 more minutes. Okay, 1 more minute. All right, 1 more minute. 1 more minute. Okay, one more. Still one. Oh no, no. Uh, there he is. He woke up. That's literally how it went.
It literally went like that, and more annoying than the way it sounded. So we were gonna move this to the live show we do on Comic Frontline called the Otaku Hour, making an exclusive show for the Otaku Hour. But Luffy woke up at the end of this episode. We had a lot of running. I mean, I literally skipped almost to the end because it was the same thing. The same thing. And then finally we got to that scene with Doflamingo where he was gonna have that girl kill Lucy. And Luffy woke up and prevented her from killing Lucy.
What's kind of funny about the whole the fact that a majority of the episode was still running. I feel like because as I was watching it, I'm like, are they literally just kind of using the same animation? Like, are they just recycling the animation they were using for the past couple of episodes? Because I'm like, this looks exactly the same.
That's how I felt. But Luffy's awake, so we might actually be talking about episode 733 next week.
Yeah, who knows? It depends on how the pacing goes for One Piece, and One Piece is notoriously known for being slow week to week.
Indeed. All right, so that's what we have for One Piece, for this week at least. So now let's go into Naruto Shippuden, episode 451. This is all you, Jeremy, because I know you've been waiting for this, but it was canon finally. The first of the show was all present day.
So for those of you guys who haven't been listening to, if you're just checking in with this episode, one thing I've complained about in general as an anime fan and on this show ever since it started is that Naruto has been in perma filler. Like, it has been in filler for over a year now. And this is technically filler, but technically not. But at least this has to do with my favorite character in all of Naruto, Itachi Uchiha. We get to see more of Itachi's backstory. But first, we get to see the beginning. We get to see them back in present time, dealing with the Infinite Tsukuyomi and Madara and stuff. And we actually get to see the second Hokage trying to cut people free from the cocoons caused by the Infinite Tsukuyomi, but they keep regenerating and stuff, so he has to, he realizes that's not going to work. But then we also get glimpses at other people's dreams, and these dreams are what got me, man. The dreams got me.
Yeah.
So the first dream we see is Hinata and Naruto. Well, Hinata's dream where she's with Naruto on the bench, and they're kind of.
I like how they sped through 20 different dreams instead of giving us all of that. Could you imagine all of that could have been filler?
All of it could have been filler. Each single one of those could have been a filler arc, and they probably thought about it. They thought about it long and hard. They're like, we could make this into a whole filler. Nope, but you can do a little clip. So we got Hinata and Naruto snuggling on a bench. That was cute. I like that. We got what was it? We got Kankuro, who's Gaara's brother with the puppet. He made a Transformer Gundam puppet. It looked awesome. I don't know what that was, but it was pretty cool. I thought that was a pretty awesome weapon. You got Tamari. She's actually being useful to her brothers. They actually want her advice, and she actually is able to help. Because she's usually just kind of the backup for them, but they don't really listen to her because they're the ones giving the advice to her. So I thought that was a cool twist. Shikamaru is just kind of living a chill life. Shikamaru's always just been a chill guy. But I love how even in his dream, he has Tamari involved there. And, they hint about them getting married because they do eventually get married. I thought that was nice. That was cool. Probably my favorite one and the one that got me in the feels was Gaara's dream, where Gaara's wish, his ultimate fantasy, is for him just to have a family. His father's alive, his mother's alive. He actually got his brother and sister are nice to him, are nice to him during childhood. It's a nice environment, and he gets to play with Kid Naruto.
And they were best friends.
Yeah. Instead of only being friends, when they're 12 after Naruto fights Garo, they actually get to become friends at childhood, and they don't have to be lonely for those 12 years of their lives, and they get to spend it together, and they don't feel alone, and they don't feel like monsters. I was just like, oh my god, I really wish this could have happened. I'm like, poor Gara. I really felt for the guy. But so we get done with the dreams, and then we get into Itachi's backstory. So if you don't know who Itachi is Sasuke's older brother, who basically Sasuke spent his entire life modeling and trying to kill Itachi because he thought that Itachi was the one, he thought that Itachi murdered his entire clan just to test out his power. But it turns out it's this whole complicated thing where really the Uchihas were trying to overthrow the village, and so Itachi killed his entire family to keep them from destroying the village, but he spared Sasuke. But in order to make Sasuke strong enough to be a decent shinobi, Itachi lied to Sasuke, made Sasuke hate Itachi so that he could use that hatred to become stronger.
Well, wait, wasn't Sasuke's parents still alive?
No, Itachi killed them too. Sasuke and Itachi's father was the main one in charge of trying to overthrow the village.
Oh, okay, this makes kind of sense now.
Because if you see in that flashback, Sasuke's dad...
Yeah, it ended with them planning against the Hidden Leaf Village.
Yep, and Sasuke's dad was just really cold, especially in the beginning when you see them on the battlefield, and, he's like, look at this, Itachi. Remember, this is what the world is like. And it just made... I mean, can you imagine showing... That kid is 5 years old. He is 5 years old.
And I love how when Sasuke was born, they kind of pushed him aside, the parents, if you notice. Like, the father's like, you're going to be the person that makes me proud. And then Itachi has, like, a memory of when he was born, and the father saying the same thing to him.
Yep. But I like that, but I also loved that when Sasuke was born, Itachi realized that, this is a new life. Maybe this is something I can protect. Like, maybe I can keep him from being as corrupted as I've been, I was exposed to all this death, slaughter, and war. Maybe I can protect him, make sure that he lives in a world full of peace and stuff like that. And you just see how much of a good person Itachi is, even at that age. And all the stuff he had to deal with. I mean, oh my gosh, this kid tried to kill himself. He jumped off of a cliff. It was crazy. And then you see, because the crow is his jutsu animal. And you see here, that's where he establishes his connection with crows there. I thought that was pretty cool. And you even see when he's at the academy with the other kids, like, he's playing with this girl, and then, like, when the guys try to get him to play with them, he just ignores them and walks away, and they get angry and start throwing rocks. But Itachi is
he's able to block them all. He, like, just dodges.
He is a boss. He's just like, yep, you can't touch me. I'm Itachi Uchiha, man. You can't do none of that. But again, it shows more of how much he loves Sasuke. And at the we even show. I liked part of it that they showed with Sasuke with Sasuke's mom in town, and she actually meets Naruto's mom, and Naruto's mom actually touches Sasuke, and Sasuke is all happy. And I'm like, oh, Sasuke. I'm like, Sasuke can sense that his best friend is inside that lady's belly. I'm like, that's cool. I'm like, that's kind of awesome. Because she's pregnant with Naruto at the time when Sasuke, or like a little bit after Sasuke was born, when Sasuke's mom was heading home. So I thought that was cool. I thought that was a nice touch showing Naruto's mom and like pre-baby Naruto. That was cool. And then it ends with, of course, where the original Naruto series begins with the Nine-Tailed Fox attack, which we've seen like 1,000 times. So I hope we don't have to see the Nine-Tailed Fox attack again.
Yeah.
But I like to see Itachi's perspective on how this attack went.
I agree. I enjoyed this episode. I really did a lot. It was a lot of fun, and I'm really enjoying it. I can't wait to see where it's going to go. How long do you think it's going to be, though? Because you covered literally everything with Itachi. I have nothing to add to it. You literally said the whole episode.
Yeah, probably. It's going to probably be it'll probably be like the Zero arc and maybe be like 10 episodes. I want to say like 10 episodes.
So we might be getting the end of Naruto by the end of the summer, approximately.
Yeah, probably. I would say maybe by like July, August, we might actually get to end Naruto.
Depending on how long the villain story is going to be.
Yeah. Yep.
Because there's 2 story arcs before the end.
Yep. And we'll see how long that goes.
Indeed.
But I'm enjoying this Itachi one a lot so far. But mostly because I'm a huge Itachi fan.
And since I don't know too much about Itachi, this is nice learnings for me, so I'm enjoying that. All right, so Dragon Ball Super, episode 34. I love how, regardless of what universe Frieza is in, and he's called Frost in Universe 6.
They're still keeping up with the pun, too. They're still keeping up with the pun of coldness.
Yep, he's still the bad guy. It turns out he's the good guy because he pays the bad guys off to do bad things, and then he jumps in to save the day, and then
so he's like a fake hero. Yep.
Yeah.
And he just it looks like I guess Frost just couldn't let it go. Yeah, that's right. I made a Frozen pun. Deal with it.
And it turns out that he has a spike in his hand like a needle, and that's what happened to Goku in the last episode, and what happens to Piccolo in this one.
And then they end up like reinstating Piccolo into the tournament, saying, "Okay, that was unfair. Weapons aren't allowed, so you're allowed to like continue in the tournament."
Which wasn't fair because what about Goku?
Yeah, I'm sure they're gonna get into that later. But then like Vegeta's like, "Hey, Piccolo. Obviously, it looks like you won't be able to do much. It's okay. Hang back. I got this."
Yeah, he basically made Piccolo quit, and in other words, since Piccolo quit, that means Frost won the match. So now,
honestly, I think this is perfect though, because in Resurrection F, Vegeta never got like the full revenge.
Yeah.
He didn't get the full revenge that he deserved, and this man has been under Frieza's boot since he was a child. So, I think he, of all people, it doesn't matter what universe this guy is from, that's still Frieza. So, Vegeta deserves to kick this guy's butt.
And he even said, "Your voice pisses me off," and that's when Frost is kind of like, "What's gonna happen?"
You could tell he probably crapped himself right there. Like,
I would have. That's for damn sure.
yeah, Vegeta is a scary little man.
And from what the coming attractions were, I was like, "This is gonna be a lot of fun."
I'm kind of surprised he's only going Super Saiyan though. Like,
we only saw that. It could get bigger.
Yeah, true.
Maybe we'll see Vegeta Super Saiyan 3.
Nah, he skips 3 and goes right to blue.
But I want to see Super Saiyan 3.
Everybody wanted him to go Super Saiyan 3 in the Battle of Gods movie, but he never did. It was sad. I was like, oh, that could have happened, but never mind.
But they might do it here.
I don't know. They had their chance to do it in anime before, and they decided not to do it. So I don't think they're going to do it.
Maybe they'll do it because I'm telling them to. Stop it. God, I'm trying to be nice, and you beat me that way. And I'm like, geez, Jimmy, let me go. You're not letting it go.
I can't, man, because Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta is something I wanted to, but they're never going to do it. I've just lost hope.
We'll see. We'll see next week, but I'm really excited for it. It was an okay episode this week, watching Piccolo charge up his special beam cannon, as they call it in America, but it's I can't even say it.
Mangako Senpo.
Senpo, yeah.
Mangako Senpo. I heard they say it in Team 4 Stars, abridged series, and that's how I ended up learning how to say it, but I don't know how to pronounce it now.
Don't look at me. I know it as special beam cannon, but it took the whole episode for him to charge it up and then get screwed by Frost's little needle thingy. And I love how it was the person that was Whis.
Oh yeah, it was Jocko. Jocko was the one. Jocko was the one. No, it wasn't. It wasn't Bottles. It was Jocko.
Jocko saw it, but Bottles the one that explained. Oh, you thought Frost was a real good guy. No, for real, he does all of this, and she reveals that.
Yeah.
Dark.
And I like that the Saiyan guy, he didn't know any of this, so he was shocked. He was like, "Man, I thought my boss was a good guy." Wow.
I fought beside you. Why did you betray me?
I trusted you.
I can't wait to see if this guy goes Super Saiyan now.
Oh yeah, he's definitely got enough to be angry about. Oh
Mm.
man.
But I think that Frost is going to be destroyed before this tournament's over. So, moving on now to Fairy Tail 99. We are one away from the second time Fairy Tail hits 100. And next week actually is the last Fairy Tail 0 episode, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep. Fairy feels, man.
Oh,
Uh,
you warned me. You did. You warned me about what was to come because I didn't want a heavy feel. And I love how DN actually tweeted both of us today because he saw the episode today. I saw the episode 2 days ago, and I'm still reeling from it. So, Mavis makes the ultimate sacrifice in order to save Yuri, and
yeah, she uses a prototype of Fairy Law, which is one of Mavis's most powerful spells, and it's one of the three Guildmaster level spells that she creates that she only allows to be passed down to the Guildmaster of Fairy Tail, and oh my God, this is going to lead into one of the biggest emotional gut punches of this arc. It's the big one that ends it all, and it's just I'm not ready for it. I've said it several times that when next week comes around, like you're gonna hear me, and I'm just gonna be in between tears, just like Mavis, no, why?
yeah,
No,
we find
why?
Yuri and Mavis become really close friends by the end of this episode. He's like, I was using you just to get the treasure, but in the end, you still cared about me. You saved me. You risked your life. Now you don't age. Now you have the curse because she wasn't in full control of the magic, so now she's cursed like that other wizard.
Yep, Zareth. Yep.
Zareth. And Yuri has a life debt to her now. And he says, now that we're best friends, I need to tell you something as your friend. And he calls Zara, and Zara walks right in front of him, and he's like, Zara's here, right? And she's like, yeah, she's right in front of you. He's like, okay, Mavis, I have to be completely honest with you. I can't see Zara.
None of us can.
And we can't hear her either. Only you can. And Mavis looks at Zara, and she gives this like smile, but not really smile.
It's like a smile but cry at the same time. It's just like, so basically, this is the big reveal to where, if you can hear me, I'm starting to get choked up. This is the big reveal where you find out that no, that night where the entire Red Lizard Guild was slaughtered and Mavis thought she saved Zara from the burning wreckage of the guild house. No, little baby Zara died. Like, little 7-year-old Zara died with her dad, and Mavis was all alone, but because her magic was so powerful, she created a permanent illusion of Zara to keep her from going insane, pretty much, to keep her from being lonely. And it's just so freaking sad. I'm just like, no. And I said it from the first episode of Zero. That theme song spoils it. The theme song spoils that twist if you pay attention to the theme song.
It does, and also the end of the theme. If you look at the very end of the theme, you can tell that Zara's the. But it's going to be interesting to see where next episode goes, because the next episode is the end of Zero.
And the official foundation of Fairy Tail, because Zara is actually the inspiration of why they call it Fairy Tail, because, Mavis' obsession with fairies, and she says, I'm going to find a fairy for you, I'm going to catch it by the tail, and that's why, it's like, Fairy Tail, and I'm just like, ah.
But I will say one thing, I did start watching the original Fairy Tail. I'm talking about the 2012 first go, and I watched the first 6 episodes, so I would at least get to know some of the main characters. Man, I got hooked. I was only going to watch 1 episode. 6 episodes later, I'm ready to go through the whole 170 something to at least make it to the second part.
Same. That's the same exact thing you did with One Punch Man when I told you about One Punch Man.
Exactly. I love it. I love the characters. I love N. His name starts with N.
Natsu.
I love Natsu. The girl's really cool also. She's the main character, which I figured she was, but because the whole story circles or centers around her and Natsu, you think that they are technically both main.
They're technically they kind of share it. Yeah, and there's a lot of I love the fairy tale community because there's a lot of interesting different ships going around with fairy tale. There's the Natsu x Lucy one. There's there's another one for Natsu, and it gets really interesting. But yeah,
I think him and Lucy belong together. I think they're gonna end up becoming more than friends at some point.
We'll see, because Natsu has his own like childhood kind of crush.
Oh, he does.
Within the guild. That it's very interesting, and I like how they bring it back. But again, that's another thing for you to look forward to when you get to there.
Well, I'm excited then. But I watched the first 6 episodes. I really liked it a lot. I loved the backstory with Natsu, how he was raised by a dragon because his parents were killed. Or he was left alone, or something like that. He was alone, and the dragon raised him.
There's a lot more There's a lot more backstory.
I know.
I know. I'm biting my tongue so hard because I'm like, there's a ton of backstory that they get into later about the dragons.
I'm 100% positive there is, but I'm sure he finds the dragon again. You can't spoil that much.
Oh yeah. They run into the dragons, and it's a whole cool mess. And there are other people with Dragon Slayer magic. Like you meet a bunch of people with different types of Dragon Slayer magic. It's really cool.
I did see the fight between them and Precht as the bad guy, Haiti, later on.
Yep,
that looked interesting.
Yep. It's so weird because because I saw it in the original order, it was weird for me to see him as a good guy because he's such a jerk. And I'm just like,
I actually was able to distinguish him as a different character because he looks so different.
Yeah, because he's got like the old man beard.
He's such a different character that it's very easy for me to say, okay, Precht is Precht, and if I want, I can pretend that he sailed off into the sunset, and this guy is just another, it's a dark version of him.
Yeah, because Precht ends up being Mavis' successor after Mavis does her thing. Precht becomes the next guild master, and then Yuri's son Makarov becomes the third guild master, who is the current guild master in where we're at right now.
Is the little midget guy from?
Yeah, the little midget guy is Yuri's son. That's Makarov.
It is, okay.
But he's kind of like Roshi. His lightning magic allows him to grow into Hulk size.
I saw it in the second episode. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
That was awesome. I like that. I like Fairy Tail. It's a really great series. And I've recommended it to somebody. I've recommended it to several people recently, but not the zero. I recommended the first 6 episodes that I watched to people, and they've come back and they've agreed that it's a really good anime.
But yeah, Makarov is really cool. You can see that he's a lot like his dad. Now that you've seen Yuri, you can tell that Makarov is very much like his dad.
Very much. Too much. I would think that they were the same character, honestly.
He has really cool pajamas also, Makarov. Yeah, he has cool pajamas.
I like him. He's a good guild leader, though, I will say that.
Yep.
All right. Huh?
I was going to say, he learned a lot from Mavis. Mavis was essentially his godmother. Like, he was around Mavis a lot.
Oh, wow. So, I can't wait till this plays out in the actual beginning show, the first 170-something episodes. I'm looking.
Oh yeah, because you'll see once we start the arc, like they do this whole thing where they catch up the entire story in the first episode of a new arc, kind of like it's like a number one. It's like an issue number one.
So you could jump in, kind of deal.
Yeah, you can jump in at any arc pretty much with Fairy Tail, and also you'll get to see Mavis again because Mavis is around in kind of ghost form, so it's cool.
Oh, cool. Was she in the second run at all?
Yeah, she was in there. She was in there in ghost form also.
Oh, in ghost form, yeah.
Yeah, she's helping out, giving advice and stuff, and they can all see her, because basically, if you have the Fairy Tail mark, you can see Mavis.
Is that tattoo that's on Lucy's hand? Is that permanent or is that?
Yeah, it's permanent.
It's permanent.
It's the Fairy Tail guild mark.
I thought that was like, when you go to a club and you get a temporary pass and then you get another one later. I guess that's her.
No, because it's your once you're initiated into the guild, you get the guild tattoo, wherever you want it to go. Natsu has it on his arm. Gray has it on his chest. Yeah, you can get it wherever you want it.
I think I would probably have it on my arm like Natsu. I wouldn't have it in pink though. I'd want it in blue or red.
Yeah.
That's just me.
I guess they have a lot of different ink choices. Also, if you leave a guild and join another one, you can get your original tattoo removed and then replaced with an other one, because there are some people that were bad guys that end up joining Fairy Tail later on that get the guild tattoos.
I'm
So
looking.
that's cool.
I'm looking forward to it, but we spent a lot of time on this, so let's move on to. We literally spent almost 10 minutes on this. Let's move into Divine Gate, which was really weird this week. It was all about Shakespeare. Apparently, Loki stole the three kids, Otto.
Yeah. Alto, Akane, and Midori. Yeah.
And they became part of Shakespeare's twisted play, where Otto found his brother, the girl found her best friend again, and
Akane found his dad, and Akane was in a dress
because it was a Shakespeare play, apparently, where it got their dresses back.
And I was like, all right. And then they find out that they realize that it's not real, because there's some inconsistencies, Midori's friend doesn't recognize the dolls that they made together, and
Akane's father wasn't willing to give up his family for his work anymore, which was completely out of character.
Because Akane's dad. The thing that Akane respects about his dad is he will never give up on his dream, which is what inspires Akane to never give up on his dream.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that was cool, and the fact that his Alto's brother was being super nice and understanding. He's like, "Who are you?" He literally said, "Who the hell are you?"
He's the one that didn't need a cue. He just knew automatically. He's like, this is a lie. So then they escape, and that's kind of where it leaves off.
Yeah, and it's really weird. I don't know what Loki's deal is.
I don't know, but this was
you also see that Arthur is still in there somewhere, because Arthur is talking to Loki somewhat. So maybe Arthur will break free of the spell or something. I don't know,
but hopefully Santa Claus will be able to save. I feel that when I talk about this anime, I really feel crazy.
Yeah. No, I want to know what happened to Santa Claus, though, because he's
hopefully Santa Claus will save them. It's like, what? What am I talking about?
When he decided to distract the council and just go out like a G, he was just like, yeah, I can handle this, guys. Don't worry, go.
I don't think that's his real name. I mean, I think he just called.
No, you can tell it's not his real name, because when Arthur met him, he was like, "What's your name?" And he goes, I'm Santa Claus. So I'm gonna give you a gift." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, cool."
So I thought this was a really crazy episode, but again, it's Divine Gate, so whenever I watch this, I kind of watch it with a grain of salt, because there's crazy stuff that happens in this.
Every anime has episodes that are just weird, though, and I feel like this is one of those ones for Divine Gate.
Absolutely. So, moving away from weird into backstory, we go into Dimension W, episode number 9, and this one was basically we find out that Kyo forgot a lot of stuff that happened on Easter Island. Apparently, Loser was a scientist on Easter Island, and it's because of Kyo and the
Beast of Grendel.
And they ended up killing, on accident, his wife, and I guess the daughter, because the daughter, I could tell you the daughter is definitely a robot.
And it was yeah. I mean, we kind of knew that from the beginning because of how she talked, also.
Mm-hmm.
But I love how Kyo was going through Wolverine syndrome, because when I first saw the first episode of Dimension W, I was like, he kind of reminds me of Wolverine with these knives and stuff.
And now it turns out that he forgot everything that happened on Easter Island, and Loser's like, you are not allowed to get on this island, because you're not allowed to go any further, because you don't remember what you did to me, you don't remember what you did here, and unless you can remember, you have no right to even be here. And that's when that light showed up from previous episodes, and apparently this light, and we find out later, is a person. When we get the backstory, you'll find out who the light is, but it attacks Kyo. He goes into this catatonic state. Loser knows what's going on, but he's like...
It was kind of it's like a coma, like a dream state kind of thing.
Exactly. But Loser knew what was going on. He's like, well, if Kyo wakes up, then at least maybe he'll remember stuff, and if there is a key, he has it. So apparently Kyo is the key to something on Easter Island. And we go back into more backstory. We start accessing a memory that Kyo forgot. So we got the backstory with him and his girlfriend, but now we're getting to how he got to
you
Easter
said
Island.
access. You said access memory. I just started laughing.
God, no. We won't return to this. No. No
But
superior Kyo, that's for sure.
but this episode reminded me a lot of The Matrix because it was just like there was a lot of like he has the key, he is the one. He had to explore within his own mind. I thought it was really cool. It was some cool visuals too.
I agree, and we find out that we get backstory on this scientist, and it's what led to the fight on Easter Island because he ended up taking other scientists with him, and they were going to do disgusting experiments with coils, and they were afraid they were going to be hindered by the governments. Africa was brought into it a bit, and this also involved the prince and the king, and we find out what happened to the prince and why he is 90% cyborg now. I'm trying to think about other points. But we find out that the light or that sphere is Dimension W's crossover with the human world. It's the scientist, and he's still alive through Dimension W. And we find out that through Dimension W, anything can happen as far as life and death. So I'm kind of wondering if Kyo's girlfriend might still be somewhere.
That's what I was thinking that too. Like maybe she's a ball of light somewhere. And like again, we find out this connection between Kyo's girlfriend and the experiments. And I thought I mentioned this when I finally got around to watching the first episode of Dimension W. I was like, the girl when we saw the backstory of the girlfriend, I'm like, the girlfriend and Mira have a very similar body type.
Yep, we find out that it's all the bodies for the cyborgs were modeled after Kyo's girlfriend. So Mira is basically Kyo's girlfriend with a different hairstyle.
Yep. So that's really interesting, and I bet you he feels so bad for treating her like crap now.
No, I don't think he knows. I don't think he really understands
No,
yet.
but
Or he does know and he answer for it.
But I think when he realizes it, he's just gonna be like, "Oh my God, I've been treating her like crap." But this is, but she's essentially, my fiance. Holy man! Oh, I don't know what to. Can you imagine processing that? Like,
I don't think I could. If the person I love died, and then let's assume it's been about 15, 20 years later, it's like, hey, here she is, but she's 90% cyborg, but that's her. It's like, that would take me a while to process.
Because especially that Mira herself is different because she can cry and she has emotions and, she can get angry and stuff like that.
It's going to be very... This series definitely has me hooked. Divine Gate's good, but wacky. This series is good, and it has a hook that keeps you interested.
And also, the dub is really good, too. I'm following it on Toonami. It started last week. And I like, Chris Sabat does a really great job as Kyo. I like his Piccolo voice coming out of Kyo.
I gotta watch it dubbed. I want to see it dubbed just for the hell of it. The first episode, maybe, just to see what... Do they cut anything out, or now it's all...
No. Because it's on Toonami, because Toonami's on Adult Swim, nothing's cut.
Good. Okay, so then that at least gives me an incentive more to want to see it. Now, this week's episode of Assassination Classroom, however, I don't know. I feel like that's why I kind of got knocked off the number one spot, because it really focused more on...
Nagisa. It was more background on Nagisa. But I also really like this because if you look at Nagisa's development as a character, it really comes full circle. And out of everyone in his class, Nagisa is the best assassin. Like, he can just sneak up on somebody and they wouldn't even know. Because, they show here, in a really funny scene, when they have Professor Bitch shows up. Professor Bitch shows up, and she's in, regular clothes.
And she has this tag sticking out.
Yeah, and everybody's like, Professor Bitch has a tag on her shirt. It's like, should we tell her? And it's just like, no, I got it. Nagisa's like, no, I got it. And he uses his tricks. He comes up, he reaches for her neck, and she doesn't even notice. His touch is so light, and I'm like, oh my God.
And we find out that it's because of years of, what's the word I'm looking for? Tippy-toeing around his mother that he got this skill.
Yep, he has like he's able to read basically your expression, like the pitch of your voice.
Heartbeat.
Yep, heartbeat,
And you know what's
and
funny? Again, Jeremy, you were right when you said that he reminds you of a girl. It turns out the mother actually several times in this episode says, "I wish I had a girl. I was preparing for a girl," and she takes his hair down because he has his hair up all the time, and she puts it down, and it's long hair, and it's like
and
it
it,
looks more
and
like
it
a
makes him
girl.
look like a girl. Yeah, and like she had this dress, and I'm like, please don't tell me we're gonna see
No, I
twice
was
in
hoping. Yeah, I
I was
know.
like, don't make it twice in the same week where we see one of our main characters in the dress.
And the good news was it wasn't. But the mother wanted to take him and put him into the D class because right now he was in the E class,
Yep.
and he didn't want to go. And the mother went completely ballistic, cuckoo for cocoa.
Oh my God, her face was scary. Like she looked like the Reaper. You know, remember what the Reaper's face looked like
Yeah,
a couple episodes ago? That's exactly what it looked like. And I was like, oh wow. I'm like, you know what? And I'm like, what's kind of funny but also scary at the same time? I'm like, my mom was kind of like this when I was in high school,
really.
and like I went. No, I mean not to this extent, but whenever I got like a bad grade or I failed a math test, it was never I never failed a test except for math. But whenever I failed a math test and I'd come home with an F on a math test, like my mom would explode.
Really, my mom always said, "Did you?" If I came home with a low grade, my mom would always say, "Did you study?" And I'm like, "Yeah." If I said no, then she said, "Well, then it's your fault. You didn't study." But most of the time, I did study, and I
Oh no, no,
was
yeah,
well.
no. My mom would be like, when I would, and she would see me study, but she's like, she could, because I did so well in everything else, she expected me to do, to do well there. So I mean, and she doesn't do that anymore. But man, let me tell you, when Nagisa was going through that, I was having some flashbacks. I was like, oh man.
I remember when my mom took my head and bashed it into the table a few times.
No, there was no bashing heads into tables, but there was wooden spoons, and there's wooden spoons, and spatulas, and high heels, and
High heels.
and
What
and,
kind of hell did you go through?
no man, my mom was Batman. Like you threw a shoe, go around the corner, and hit you in the back of the head. Like it's crazy.
Excuse me a second. Hey, mom. I'm glad you're my mom. I'm just saying. At least you threw you.
No, yeah, no, those are death. Those are death. Like, I don't that's why I can never go shoe shopping with my girlfriend because I'm just like I go we go in there
PTSD.
and yeah, I'm just like no.
Okay, I'm sorry. This episode's changing to shoe PTSD now. I'm sorry. That's the name of the episode.
Okay, but because like seriously though, ah, it was scary stuff, and I don't blame you, Nagisa, for being afraid of your mom because she was a scary lady. Koro Sensei was scared for a second there.
I'm gonna actually call high heel PTSD.
No, but I love Koro Sensei when he was pretending to be Korosama.
I know, that was hilarious. I love that. And the mother kind of got mad at him because she's like, "I'm leaving it up to your son. If your son doesn't want to, I'm not gonna let him out." And
And she was like, "What kind of teacher are you?" Blah, blah, blah. I was like, "Man," and the Nagisa's friends all just were like, "Damn."
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm glad my mother never was like that. My mom was never like that. She was just proud of me if I tried. That was the thing. Did you try?
No,
And the answer is yes. Okay, next time you'll do better.
but
It's like,
Nagisa's mom was like a nuclear explosion. It was crazy.
I agree. I think he should move out as soon as possible.
Seriously. And I love how at the end where he's just like, can I stay in E class now? He's doing all this stuff to butter her up. He's cooking her breakfast.
And she's like, "Do what you want."
He's like, I don't care. Do whatever. Because she saw him kill the guy. She was like,
Okay, do what you want.
I think she's honestly scared of him now. I'm like, you know what? That was necessary. No, Nagisa. You were doing it to protect her. So I don't think, you should be worried about, what you showed her.
I agree. I liked it. I thought it was a good filler episode, but not as good as our number one pick, which is Luck and Logic, episode 9. We called this We said this from episode 1, and then when we found out Lucifer was around, we said it since the Lucifer episode even more.
Yep.
This episode's all about Olga. And, at first he feels left out from the group. Then Lucifer shows up and he's like, I want to work with you guys.
He was also trying to like convince all these foreigners that are in the cage. He's like, come on, work with me, come on.
That was Olga. Yeah.
Yeah, he was like, come on, work with me, form a covenant, we can merge. And he was talking to this one foreigner that was like, I'm even more powerful than Lucifer. Blah 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 blah. If you let me out for just for a day, I'll merge with you. And he's just like, no. And then when Lucifer shows up is when things get really interesting.
Yeah, he pops out Olga out of nowhere. He's like, I'm Olga Fairchild. I'm the smartest logistic, and I want to be your partner. And they're like, no, I don't think so. And he's like, what? Why? And they're like, we don't even know him. We don't trust him, and yada yada. And then bad stuff happens.
I mean, would you trust the devil? Because he is literally the devil.
Absolutely not. And we find out that he was manipulating things behind the scenes since the beginning of the episode. One of his followers was actually working inside the ALSD.
Yep. Yeah, that's just and actually I didn't notice this until I like rewinded it. That girl, we saw her in the first episode where we saw Lucifer.
Right, she's the first girl he tranced with.
Yeah, I was like, I'm like, when she popped up in the uniform, I'm like, this girl looks really familiar.
She also was talking to Chloe, remember? Chloe tried to find her.
Yep.
So I knew her right away that it was that girl. I thought that they just took her because she was one of the victims. I didn't know that had anything to do with Lucifer, but she became close with Olga. And at first it looked like there was an interest, like a love interest kind of deal.
Yeah, I was like, oh, they're starting a little relationship, so this is even more proof that Olga's going to be a good guy. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, but then bad situations happen, and it looks like it's Olga's fault, and he ends up getting taken over by a foreigner.
Yep, and he ends up getting paradox sickness because he loses his logic card.
Yep, and unfortunately, Lucifer found the logic card before the team, and we find out, and this is where I kind of started questioning when the girl showed up at the hospital, and she's like, oh, they're going to kick you out, they're going to give up the search on the logic card. I'm like, wow, I didn't think they would do that, and then we find out she's working for Lucifer.
And she was lying to Olga because the team is out there right now looking for the card.
Exactly, and it turned
and each one of them said, we're not going to give up on him. He might be a jerk sometimes, but he's part of our team. He's our friend. We're not going to give up on him.
Exactly.
They were like he's a tough SOB. Like he's never going to give up. So why should we give up on him?
Exactly, but it turns out Lucifer has his logic card, and because he's been manipulated by Lucifer and he doesn't know that it's all fake, Lucifer basically says, do you want to be my partner? We hear at the end of the episode, logistic log on, and then we don't hear the word trance, but we can only...
We see the glow, and you know what that means, yep.
So it's going to be very interesting to see where this goes, because now Olga's gone down the dark path, it looks like, and the question is, will he come back to the light, and will also Lucifer follow with him, or will he just break away from Lucifer and maybe he'll find somebody else? Or
I think it's going to be down to Yoshika and Athena to help save him, because we could tell that Athena especially has a connection with Lucifer, because they look kind of similar. Also, they have similar hair, so. Maybe they're related somehow.
I think they are. I think they're brother-sister.
Maybe.
I truly believe that they're brother-sister, like close brother-sister.
Yeah, because they look alike. So I'm like, because that's what we thought. That's what we said when we saw the first episode. We were like, yeah, they have to be related.
Exactly. So, I don't know, but it's going to be... this show is really good. I love Luck and Luck.
Yeah, because this always flips between number 1 or number 2.
And honestly, the only reason Assassination Classroom was number 1 for the past 2 weeks was because of the Reaper episode. It was a Reaper Part 1 and Part 2 thing.
Yep.
So, honestly, Luck and Logic has been in my number 1 spot other than those 2 weeks. So,
yeah, pretty much. That's how it usually goes. If you guys haven't checked out Luck and Logic yet, you definitely should.
I know we recommended Jay to watch it, and Jay, yep. I think he's going to start watching it. It's one of my favorite. Between this Fairy Tail and Dimension W, I'm really loving. Those are my top. Assassination Classroom I would put right now in fourth, and Divine Gate's going into fifth because it's psychedelic.
Yeah,
it's like,
and I find it really funny that we're both into Luck and Logic and we're both card collectors, but yet we can't get those cards
because it's Japanese still.
Yeah, they're only available in Japan. That sucks.
Hopefully, Luck and Logic will make it to America. I mean, Dimension W did, Divine Gate is, Luck and Logic should be, and One Punch Man is going to be debuting in 2017, also in America, the first season.
Yep, I can't wait for that.
So I'm looking forward to, I hope Luck and Logic gets the same treatment. It's a good anime, and Assassination Classroom Season 1 already is an American, I believe.
Yep, and the interesting thing about Assassination Classroom, they're also making a live action Japanese series.
That I saw. Yes, I saw the teaser for it.
That's going to be fun. I want to see how they pull that off.
And we will definitely be reviewing that on SoundCloud if they do the movie. That's 100% sure. Definitely. I got to see that when that happens.
Mm-hmm.
But that's Anime Weekly for this week. Great shows. Nothing really disappointed at all. Shocker with One Piece. It's great to have Pokemon back, and hopefully we'll be seeing Garo next week. If not, hopefully we'll be seeing it in 2 weeks.
Yeah, and then, there was nothing really mind-blowing this week, but man, next week is going to be the big Fields episode for Fairy Tail, so yeah.
Oh man, next week's title is going to have Zara in it. I have a feeling. Somehow.
Just goodbye, Zara. It's so hard to say goodbye to yesterday.
Zara's really attached to this anime character. She's like, if she could date anime chicks, that 5,000 would end up being like 7,000.
I don't know, man. Zara's only like 17. That's still kind of
Hey,
the
look,
deal.
I'm not judging you. I'm not judging if you like a 17-year-old girl. She's only 1 year away from being...
Let's not go into that. Let's not end the show on that kind of note.
Hey, you're the one that's looking at her that way. I'm not.
If it was down to anybody, I'm more of a Mavis person.
Oh, now he's going to cover it up with Mavis. Okay.
But, Dang it, man.
He's trying so hard to cover it.
Dang it. Why you gotta do this? In such a positive direction, and now you gotta derail it. You gotta derail it all the way into Pedo Town. We don't need to go to Pedo Town.
Hey, look behind you. There's a high heel shoe. This way. Go that way.
There
you go.
Oh, no.
Now
Man. Dude, no. Flashbacks.
Flashbacks.
Not necessary. Not necessary. Mama, no. Mama, no.
Will Smith reference. Mama, no. Oh, God. What?
Anyway, okay. That's it for Anime Weekly, guys.
That's it. Jeremy, there are no words for you right now.
I'm done.
You're done is right. That's right. You're done. Go clean yourself up after this show.
This isn't. I'm betting this isn't as fun for you guys that are just listening to it. But if you could watch the video, go back and watch the video. Cause look at my expression during this.
You're dirty, man. You're dirty. No, I'm just kidding. I'm tired, and that's why this is happening. I'm really tired.
Okay.
So, before things get worse, again, if you guys want, in the description below are links to stuff right here on Dark Avengers 86, Comic Frontline Zone 4 Podcast, Frontline Gaming Zone, link to Jeremy's channel. If you're listening on SoundCloud, if I could put links in the description, I will. If not, you can check it out on my YouTube channel. On the video, the links will be there. On iTunes, I'm 100% sure you're not going to get links. So if you're listening to this on iTunes, check out Dark Avenger C86 on YouTube. All the links will be in the description of the video if you're interested in checking out anything else that I'm connected with. And if you want to check out Jeremy's channel or any of the other channels I just mentioned. I'm really happy that we are officially on SoundCloud and iTunes now. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. If you did, please rate Dark Avenger Podcast. Help bring it up to the top. I'm not even being what's the word?
Let's shoot for
Top
top.
30.
Let's
Top
go for
30.
let's go for top 100 first, and then we'll just work our way up there.
Exactly. I'll take top 30 though. I mean, I'm not being greedy. I don't want to be top 10, but top 30.
But then I can't wait to review that Boruto. Look forward to that SoundCloud exclusive. That's gonna be fun.
Mm-hmm. That will be soon. Till next week, guys. Take care.
Enjoy your anime, everybody. Watch out for those high heel shoes.
Oh God, those high-heeled 4-inch heeled shoes.
No, my mom wore 6.
6.
Yeah.
6.
Yeah.
Oh,
Not
man.
Yeah, not pretty.
Good night, everybody. That's it. That's the vision I'm on. I just see Jeremy in anime form with like a 6-inch high heel popping out of his head, and the shoe just hanging there on the top of his head. Oh God. Good night, everybody, or good morning, or good day.
But yeah, you know the drill.
Goodbye. Goodbye, everybody. We'll see you guys next week. We love you guys. Take care. Keep reading. Keep collecting. Dear God. Goodbye.